Okay, we got another special guest tonight. We got 7 from out of Atlanta. And y'all definitely need to get your pen and your paper out and take some notes because he has a wealth of information. You talk about somebody that's a go-getter, a money maker. Don't let nothing stop him. Y'all in for a treat. So the way we're gonna start this, we want to go back to your childhood, 7, and then we're gonna walk all the way up to where you at now, because a lot of people see you and they just look at you at the top of the hill in Atlanta, but they don't know all what you had to go through to get to where you are. So let's start at childhood. Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Well, it depends on how far you want to go with childhood.
Let's go all the way back.
Like 10? Oh, okay. Well, childhood was very interesting for me because my mom had me when she was 15. So anybody that either is a single mom or come from that dynamic, they know that a mom is going to work. So I've always seen my mom go to a job. Like I can remember her going to one job, coming to get me from daycare and cleaning up offices, and I'm sitting there. I think for me growing up, I had a great life. Like, love my mom, gave me everything I want. But because I didn't get a lot of time with my mom, I hated the concept of a job. I was like, why is she going to a job? That's not even her company. Like, why does she care about them so much? Like, why is she giving them 12 hours? Like, I just never related to that lifestyle. So, growing up teenage, I've had jobs. I worked at Kroger, Chick-fil-A, the places that make you excellent in customer service.
What was high school like? What were you doing in high school?
In high school, I was really, really big into like theater. I did a lot of like theater geek stuff. Like I did a lot of improvisation workshops, competitions. I was in a lot of musical plays. I can't sing, but I can like remember lines. So they would let me be in the musicals, I went to a private school. Like I said, my mom made sure that I had everything I want. I didn't really want for anything. In high school, I had a Jaguar. So it was kind of like a privileged kind of life, but I also feel like that made me like nicer things to want to work for and get it myself. So high school, graduated high school. That's how I got to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta when I was 17, went to Clark, graduated from Clark.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Memphis. I'm from Memphis originally. I'm from a little suburban town outside of Memphis called Germantown.
Okay, I know where that's at.
So I grew up in Germantown. I went to Germantown Elementary, middle, high. But people don't really know Germantown, so you say Memphis. Moved to Atlanta, went to Clark, graduated from Clark, got my bachelor's in education. I was a 3rd grade teacher for about 6 months, and I realized me and children don't really do the connect thing, but it made me go back to school. I went back to Clark and got my master's in marketing. That degree is what ultimately got me into skincare. I was working for Matt Cox.
What made you get into that? Keep going.
My first marketing job straight out of my master's program was for Matt Cox, and hired like 17 Black kids out of a marketing program out of Clark. Because at the time, I don't know if you remember when like Nicki Minaj and all these people were doing like MAC campaigns. So they didn't have a problem with selling makeup. They had a problem with getting younger people to wear makeup. So they built this marketing team to make us go to like colleges. We were even going to like clubs promoting, hey, have you seen the new Nicki Minaj MAC line? So I learned how to market, but it also put me around a lot of people that were buying makeup to cover up stuff. And I'm a very nosy person. So if a woman comes in and I'm trying to get her to buy makeup and she's like, I'm trying to cover this up. I'm like, well, how long has it been there? You ain't even got no facial, and I wasn't even in aesthetics. I was just up on skin, like my self-skin. And it just got me very intrigued into skincare. I moved back home to Memphis to open up a spa with my best friend. And I was like, Memphis, the business is not the same from Memphis to Atlanta as far as making money. I'll tell you that. So my business was slow in terms of people wanting to hire me for marketing stuff. So I was like, you know what? While I got this downtown, let me just get my aesthetics license. It's only like 6-7 months, whatever. I can do it. I did it. I loved it. Um, we opened up a spa and a beauty shop. I was doing great because I had the teaching background. I was like, well, now I might as well go back to school to be an instructor. It just makes sense. Fast forward, moving back to Atlanta. Since then, I've opened up 3 spas. I've purchased salon suites, and now I've had my school for a year and a half.
Now, what made you want to get to school, Seven? Because I remember we talked.
We talked, and I don't even know if you remember this talk. I called you. You was on live one night. You was doing your big one. Like you was talking. You got me motivated. Like I was trying to buy a building in the morning. And I was just like, I don't know. I said, I feel like I'm gonna have to do all the areas like cosmetology, barber. And you was like, no, you ain't gotta do that. Do what you want to do. If you know, and like you didn't talk me through the process, but you definitely let me know about your program, and you told me it's gonna be a difficult task, but it can be done. Like it can be done. And so I taught, I don't know, you said somebody was on here that was an instructor at CEI. I taught at CEI. And I think one of the takeaway things I took from that was I want a school where I can solely focus on aesthetics. Every school I worked at here in Atlanta, I went to Elaine Sterling because in Tennessee, I only needed 700 hours. When I moved to Georgia, you needed 1,000 hours. So I had to go back to school. They wouldn't even let me do the transfer thing. So I went to Elaine Sterling. I worked at Elaine Sterling. I've worked at Aveda. I've worked at Health and Style. In each one of these schools, no offense to them, they're great programs, great schools. They don't give the aesthetics department all they need because their biggest departments is cos and barber. And if you want to be realistic, that's where the money is. And so I was like, I just want to do a school with aesthetics where they learn medical aesthetics, where they learn advanced aesthetics, and they just can go and work anywhere, med spa, solo esthetician. And so that's what I did. It was difficult, like you said, it was a lot of holes and traps and dead ends where I feel like if you did not know people and you did not have the resources, it would have been the ending of it, of the process. And they don't tell you that, like nobody tells you that. So
Now,
this is where
when you tell us about that, when you told friends you were gonna open a school, what did they say?
oh my God, I lost 2 friends because of that. Because I think when people hear the word school, it's an intimidation tactic, no matter what the genre is. Also, those 2 people that I stopped being in communication with are not entrepreneurs. And so I think entrepreneurs dream a little different than other people, but they pretty much tell me this is not the right time. You know, it was last year. I don't think that you can do it on your own. You may want to like, you know, have a team or take a year. People was telling me to take a year. And I was just like, no, like this is what I want to do. And I did it.
So getting it together, tell us like when you was getting your equipment, when you rented the building and you was getting everything together.
It was horrible. And I say it was horrible because Georgia Cosmetology and Board, the requirements, it's kind of dated. They want you to get the space of so many square feet. They want you to get all of this equipment, buy all of these books, buy 10 kits and all of this stuff before you can even do the application. So you have months and months and months of spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and wondering, am I gonna get approved? Is my application gonna go through? When is my site visit? Who coming for the site visit? But I think for me, that was the easy part because I've had a spa before. So I know what each bed needs as far as a steamer, a bed, the protecting, the PPE, like I know that, I buy that regularly for myself. I think for me, it was just the dated laws. Like even with implements, they want us to get a storage bin that one says dirty, one says clean. And I'm like, but I bought a sanitizer, a sterilizer, and I have a barber set so my students can do the whole, you know what I mean? So it was just stuff like that. I was like, I spent a lot of money on stuff that I could have gotten the bare minimum. I'll say that as well.
Now, when they came out to inspect, can you tell them about that day?
Let me make sure ain't nobody on here from State Board. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. When they came out to inspect, as far as everything that I needed, I had. The stuff that they made me not get approved that day for, they have to come back, was like, I think when they left, I spent $50 on Amazon. It was a first aid handbook that I didn't have in the library. It was an exit sign needed to be moved from the room to the hallway so they can know to go in that room. It was like small stuff. Everything that I was like sweating about, they was like, oh, looks good. Oh, your dispensary looks good. Oh, your classroom looks good. You have a TV and you have the, what's the drop down little board thing? The projector. You have different learning things. Learning aids is what they call them. But they just were on me about the smallest thing. I didn't have my instructor license up. That needs to be in. It was just little stuff like that that made them say they're gonna come back. When they came back, I think I was a little less stressful because I knew what they were coming back to check for versus everything. And then you got to also realize this was my first time doing this. So my first initial visit, I was like, did I get the right towels? Do I have them? Is my trash in my laundry soiled linen? Is like everything was just kind of like, is this going to get me passing? Versus the second one was more so like, this is what they said they want, give them this.
Now, how did you do your marketing to get students?
Honestly, Trey, I can be honest with you and your platform for right now. Everybody that's a part of my student body right now, and I have about 77 students, has either come from my following and or me doing a trade show. I've done the Woman Expo in September. We had a booth for enrollment. This past May, we got a booth for the Women's Expo, and our students did services for free, just to kind of showcase the spot inside the school. Yeah, I mean, just I do my regular Instagram marketing.
Now, tell
my Instagram ads, my Facebook ads.
Let them know you came from Memphis and you moved to Atlanta, the big city, and then you took over in the skincare. I mean, you just took over like.
It was not hard. I tell everybody I could have a better base right now and I could be making more money. I don't know how long you've been following me, but if you would have been following me when I first got back to Atlanta, I opened up a spa in Buckhead. I was posting 6 or 7 times a day. My stories, whether it was Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I was every 45 minutes. I had something on my stories. You had no choice if you were in Atlanta to see my posts. I would be up late at night searching Atlanta, Georgia, the place. And you know how people be in the club taking pictures of themselves? When they post that picture, I used to be the first comment. Hey, this is a great picture. They come over to my page, see them in their backyard, they booking. I've slipped up on my posting because of the school, because of my products, because of my podcast. So I don't have that time to do it. But if you really, really post, you don't even got to spend a lot of money on ads. If you post and then you grab people that are in your backyard, it's easy. It's easy. As far as the school I am learning, it's a different type of marketing. I'm so used to marketing for services. Like I found myself even on the school page, marketing more services than enrollment. And I'm like, whoa, I need to be advertising tuition, not these little $20 faces. But I'm so used to marketing services that becomes second nature. So I'm getting used into the whole enrollment thing and making sure that we get that same content out, but in a different grab of people.
Now, Seven, a lot of people are not with this social media, especially the older people and then the shy people and all that. Can you tell them how important that is to?
You probably miss about You probably, and then this is something that I tell older people that take my trainings, because all my trainings come with marketing. I also have a marketing ebook that shows you how to post on social media. It shows you how to create content and make a calendar and all that good stuff. But for people that are older and they say, "Oh, I hate the internet," all this kind of stuff, you're missing about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. So while you're saying what you can do, I say do it for a month and then hire you an intern to do it for you. It's so many 19, 20, 18, 17, 16-year-olds that would love a little part-time job of just posting your stuff for you all day long. And that's their language. We're about to hire a 16 and a 17-year-old. That's their job, content creation. Walk around all day, take pictures, record people, create content, and post it. That's it. And we'll pay you by the hour.
Now, your first day of class, tell us, walk us through your first day of class from you getting out of bed at home or the night before. Take us the night before all the way up to the first day.
First day of class for who? I don't teach in my school.
I know that, but when you first opened, like that first day.
Oh, so that first day, so realistically, in a perfect world, I would get up and go to the gym. Once I leave the gym, I'll probably eat breakfast, walk my dog. Our students, their first 4 months are online. So the base of our students are online right now. The ones that are on campus, what we try to do is I try to make sure that the students are getting 3 things a day: their lecture, whatever current chapter they're on, hands-on practice, and state board practice. Those are 3 components that I make sure they get every day. Now they have 1 day a week where I go over this new thing that Milady has. It's called Beauty as a Business, where it shows them how to create Instagram Reels. It shows them how to make TikToks. So I make sure that they are learning not only how to do the service, pass state board, and get the information, but once you graduate, how to market your business. Once I'm done with that, I normally take about 2 or 3 of my personal clients. I don't really take new clients anymore. You kind of like gotta already be on my books or whatever. Then I come home, walk my dog, eat, and go to bed. I don't have an adventurous life like people really think I do.
Now, there are a lot of beauty professionals that don't have clients, and they're wondering how can they get clients. And I know that's not a problem for you, never been a problem. Can you tell them things that they should be doing?
I can give y'all some quick little tips. I would say, for one, if you're not an internet person, you want to create some type of word of mouth referral program. Maybe that's going into some local businesses, some local insurance, saying, "Hey, for everybody to come through here and book, I'll give you guys $5, $10. People love free money. It could be $1. It could be a free service, something you really not losing on. As far as internet people, post and ads, but another thing that really helps my business is newsletters. People that book me, I gather their emails, and so once a month, I'm able to send out email blasts, and people check their emails before they check their text messages, because we waiting on a confirmation number, we waiting on something in our emails. So sending out that monthly newsletter to let people know, hey, this is what I have going on this month. It could be a special. I always try to make sure my newsletters have 3 components: a special, a coupon, and then some type of pop-up event or something that I'm going to be doing. Or like, if I would have known about this for this month, this would have been on my newsletter. Catch me on Millionaire Barber Live this month, blah, blah, blah. Something to let them know what I have going on and staying connected with me. The number 1 way for me is social media. And I know it's hard. I know it's kind of like, so, complex, and they're changing it every other month, but that's the world that we live in. And if we don't move with the world, we're going to be missing money and we're going to be left behind.
Now, if you had to start over, knowing everything that you know now, what would you do? What would you not do as far as in this beauty business?
Something I would do is what I'm trying to do now, my podcast. We're not trying to do what I'm doing now and kind of like putting a lot of work into, which is my podcast and my products. It would have been done years ago. My products came out, they got bigger than me. orders were missing, but I was a one-man show, making it, bottling it, marketing it, using it on my clients, shipping it. So I just closed down the whole operation. Before I, get this bad rep of I'm not getting my orders, I could just close it down. I can make it for selected people and whatever. But even now that has gotten too big where I'm making it for like 2 or 3 people and I got a whole jug left. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm going back into it, but I'm going to have staff. So I think those would be things that I would, focus on, because I was tired of doing facials 3-4 years ago. Tired of skincare, no. Want to evolve in skincare, no. Want to be all in the beauty world. I'm trying to start writing for some magazines, be like a skincare columnist, all that good stuff. But as far as touching people, I was done 3 years ago. So I think if I would have had my products and podcasts up and running, I could have done it and been further than where I am now. Something that I will have not do again, I will never open a freestanding spa again. I've had 3, and it's so hard to find estheticians or people in the spa industry that are A, serious, and B, that don't want to work for themselves. So you get this big overhead of this spa. My last spa, my overhead was like $5,000. And I'm the only person walking around doing services. I'm texting them like, hey, it's a client here. Y'all, you want to get a client? Oh no, I'm in my other job. Or, most girls here that's estheticians, they bottle girls. They made $1,000 last night. They like, no, I don't want to do a facial. So I would never do that again. I'm in the process now of franchising my school. Now, put my school, which has a spa inside in every major city, yes. But just a spa, no. No.
Now when the pandemic came around, what did you think about that, or what were you doing?
The pandemic was very good for me. I made a lot of money. People were stuck in the house, so I did a lot of chemical peels. I was charging about $400 for my chemical peels. Chemical peels take me 15 minutes. So I would go to work for an hour and make about $1,200 to $1,600 and just go back home and get in the bed.
Now tell us about this chemical peel.
So chemical peels is what a lot of Black people need. We haven't heard of it. We're a little new to it, but it removes 2 to 3 layers of skin. And essentially, you're supposed to be getting a chemical peel every time the seasons change to get that season or layer of skin off of your face. Think about the summertime. We get darker, our pores get more exposed, more oily. You don't want to go into that fall, winter with that same skin. So you get a chemical peel. It removes 2 to 3 layers. And you have brand new skin. A lot of people don't like getting chemical peels because you're out. Your skin is peeling for 7 to 10 days. Ideally, I tell people about 2 weeks of looking like a crocodile, skin falling off everywhere. But it's for new skin. So, and we live in a time now where it's not like people gonna be staring at you. Actually, people walk around and be like, "Oh, you got a chemical peel? Cool." So if it was like maybe 10 years later, be like, oh my God, what's wrong with your face? Now it's like, oh, you got a chemical peel. But I think everybody should have one, at least 2 a year. They're very good. Keep your skin glowing, looking youthful,
Can you give us some skin tips? Like, I know a lot of men use a rag on their face or
So terrible. That's why I am starting my podcast ideally for African American men, and it's called Wash Your Face. That's the name of the podcast. And then I also feel like we as Black men, we don't get the recognition also of all the factors that we go against with our skin. Our skin is dark. Our skin is naturally oily. We have this hair growing on our face that breaks us out. So ideally, we don't know it, but we as Black men have to do more to our skin to keep it looking youthful than a woman or any other nationality. We're supposed to be using a cleanser twice a day, a toner twice a day, a moisturizer twice a day. Your morning moisturizer should have some type of sunscreen in it to protect you from the sun, from making you darker. You may have a bump from drinking a drink or eating some candy. When you go outside, the sun is going to make that bump darker. If you were wearing sunscreen, it would create a screen that wouldn't do that. So it's just a lot of stuff that we don't know about our skin. Like we don't know every time we touch this hair on our face, we need to exfoliate because how we take it off is gonna grow back curly and make it inflamed, and then we look like we got breakouts. When in actuality, that's just dead skin that needs to be exfoliated off our face. So I think that if you are on here, definitely follow me. The number 7 skin _ ATL, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of men suggested posts. I'm actually about to start writing for a magazine, and that was one of the things she wanted me to focus on was Black men's skin. So definitely follow me if you want to get those resources and get those tips every week.
Now we got a lot of people on here that want to open a school. Some of them working in shops, but they scared, they fearful. They've been following me, watching, just sitting in the cut or whatever.
Do it tonight. Start the process, print it off, call Chief, go through his because it's so much. I'm telling you, the first 2 students makes it so worth it. And it changes the group it changes your surroundings of people that you interact with. You know, no offense to anybody that's behind the chair. I have a lot of friends that own shops still doing it. But when you get on a school level and you're meeting people from accreditation teams and you're meeting financial advisors from other colleges that's trying to help you with grants for your school, it changes the way you make money and you think about it. You're not thinking about let me post and get this quick client. You thinking my enrollment is good this month. I need my enrollment to be good the next 90 days. So it takes your brain kind of from day-to-day thinking to like a more long-term, having something long-term. I say do it. I say anybody that's thinking about to do it, I'm gonna be like the pastor that's telling you to join church. Come on up here, just do it.
Now,
and a lot of people are gonna try to tell you that it's an oversaturated thing. No. It's not enough Black schools. That was one of the reasons why I opened up a school. When you search esthetician schools, when I used to do my tours, and I used to try to go to school to try to talk to their esthetician students, it's not a lot of schools.
Right.
The ones that are big franchise of they call Mitchell, yeah, they look like they're capitalizing, but nobody wants that type of pay that type of investment anymore for not learning and to only learn one product. Those schools only teach them how to use their product so they can be hooked on it. And when they graduate, they can keep on buying Paul Mitchell shampoo. That's it. I know, I work there.
Do you feel that with you building your brand, that help attract students to your school?
Yes, but I have a business partner that is not a social media person. I think maybe she has like 600 followers. She's attracted people to the school as well in other ways that were just as beneficial to our tuition, our enrollment rate. And when I say those ways, it's ways of just having connections, having people that she knows she can call. Hey, can I bring some brochures over there? It wasn't all just people that knew me from social media. So I think it's 2 elements. Like you have to be well versed. Like she's teaching me now, like, we need to start going to like local events, stuff for the mayor, school drives, so we can meet these people that we're trying to get somebody from the mayor's office speak at our graduation. So I think it takes, the in the industry and the Instagram thing, but definitely knowing people in your community and having people that can vouch for you and your business.
Okay. Did you ever get tired of doing services for clients?
3 years ago, I was tired.
Tell us about that. Why did you get tired? How did you get tired?
I don't know. It just kind of hit me. Like, I think it hit me 3 years ago when I first got my suites. So I went and looked at a space because I had 2 estheticians working for me. So I went and looked at a space and I wanted to rent this whole hallway of rooms. That way we can have different rooms that we go in and out of doing service, kind of like a doctor's office. So we're going over there. The lady intrigued me about just renting the whole building. The building has 27 suites. So I was like, "Ooh, that's a big leap for me." The more I thought about it, I was like, "But I make this in services. So this could be my way out of touching people if I just get the suites." Getting the suites is another day and another time because I would never do that again. Once I'm out of this situation, I'm gonna be out for good. But I would never do that again. But I felt like that was my first time where I felt like I was tired of doing services. And I think also at the time, I could be honest, I had got cocky. I was making enough money in my aesthetic business to pay 3 people almost $1,000 a day, and I still was making like 2,000-3,000. So I was in my brain, I'm like, if I can get people and make them do the services and I can make money off of it, I'm tired of touching people. I lost those people, horrible workers. Ended up opening another spot, getting more workers, more horrible. And that was my revelation. Like, you don't want to touch people. You don't like how people do your clientele because you want them to, feel a certain way. Why don't you open up a school where you can teach people the right way that you want stuff done and they get their license? So now I have the best of both worlds. I have students getting their license, working in a spa, handling my clientele the way I want them to, because I still attract clients to come and get services from my students. All of my new people that book me at SM, is this your first time into the spa, they're automatically routed to one of the students because I don't take new clients.
Okay, and for the people that don't know, when a client walks in your school and gets a service, who gets that money, Seven?
Me, that's the best. So that's what I'm meaning about, like, the numbers change. You have to think I'm making money on enrollment. And the second part of my business is they're doing services all day long. I had a girl today that did 13 services. Granted, it's school prices, so they range between like $5-$30. But for me to just have to sit there and just look at people and still make money, it was just like, okay. So yeah, I think, that's a big plus. That's a big, big plus. And that's one person.
And what percentage of that do you get?
Because I have a business partner, we split everything.
No, I'm talking about the school.
Person.
What you been
all
school
of
on?
it. No, all of it. All of it's mine. All of it's mine. Yeah, we do everything down the middle 50, but that's another thing about the school. Like, it's all hours. We don't have to pay anybody. I mean, we pay our instructors, it's like any other business, we have payroll, but as far as profits, especially with the spa, we try to let the school pay for the school and the spa pay for the spa, but especially with the services, it's all profit. It's all profit.
Now, somebody that wants to get into the aesthetics field, because we're getting more and more people in our program that are just doing aesthetics and just doing nails. But like for aesthetics, can you let them know the type of money? I mean, because I've had LASIK, hair removal, I've had all kind of stuff done to my face with the salicylic acid. Tell them some of the services when they graduate that, you teaching them, and then when they get in the shop or in their suite. Because
not every school is teaching what I'm teaching. And that's what really has my enrollment rate up as well. I have about 6 girls starting this month that are transfers from other schools, like Aveda and all those other schools. Because with my program, so when you get your aesthetics license at any school, they're gonna teach you the basics, basic facial, basic waxing, makeup, and tweezing, arching, that massage, that little stuff. At my school, my students are not only getting that, they have medical aesthetics training. So they're learning lip fillers, Botox, laser hair removals, lymphatic drainage, post-op massages. Like, my students will literally leave with their license and 13 certifications where they can go work in a med spa. Or they can be a solo esthetician and make anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 a day just doing services. But a lot of them are going into the med spa industry now because you have a lot of those nurses that don't have to do the aesthetics because they already can poke people. Like, my students learn phlebotomy on their first day of school. Their first clinical day on campus is their first day of learning phlebotomy. They have to do it for a full 3 weeks. That third week, they sticking people. And we want them to be well equipped because we're trying to build up internships where our students can go work in hospitals and spas and draw blood. So like you were saying earlier about how much money you can make, it kind of depends which way you go. If you go solo esthetician, the potential to make money is still there. The potential to make money is still there, but no, you go ahead. The potential to make money is still there, but with the medical portion of it, like those services you were talking about, chemical peels, laser hair removal, you're talking about some estheticians that I know personally here don't even have my following. Talking about like 1,000 followers, still making $2,000-3,000 a day. These are $200-300 services. You get a good 8-9 people a day with a $20 tip attached, you go.
And like them aesthetic services, I know when I've gone, they're fast. Like that laser, it'd be zoop, 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 and then a couple of $100.
Yeah, most of the most intense services, like even today I did a chemical peel. My chemical peel is $350. I think the guy appointment was at $330. At $352, we was walking to the door. So micro needling, laser hair removal, those are quick services because the technology is either in the product or the machine. It doesn't really take a lot of service using your hands that much.
Yeah, because barbers and stylists, they work hard, really hard. And
yeah, they work hard. Somebody asked to, I have a medical director on staff at my school to do those services. And no, you can't do the cosmetology license. And so that's why I was saying most of the time when people graduate from my school and they have those certification sheets, they go work medical spa because they don't want to have to do with the overhead of hiring a medical director. So I have a medical director that we pay every month, but that is us for anything we do medical. So once they graduate, they have the certifications to do the service, but they still have to work on a medical director. The only way around that is in my business partner's position. She's a nurse practitioner.
Okay, I think his internet went out, so we coming back in. We're coming back in. Right. And what were you saying, Seven?
So yeah, somebody had asked about the medical director versus doing it yourself. So that's the only exception to not having a medical director and doing those services is if you are in the medical field already with those qualifications of being able to stick people, draw blood. Because the difference between aesthetics, dermatology, nurse, and all that stuff is how deep you can go in the skin. Aesthetics is very topical. They can only do like nano needling. So to do micro needling and things that go deeper into the skin, to the dermis, you have to have a medical degree.
Now, I've seen people that have like the spas and they're making a lot of money. So the people that work at the spas versus the spa owner, can you talk about that, Seven, so you can kind of enlighten some of the people maybe on here and the people that's going to watch this video?
Well, the spa, I will say that's why one of the reasons I said I'll never have another spa. The estheticians don't make a lot of money because it's only two ways to get paid in those type of dynamics, and that's hourly or commission based. And we all know that the owner of it is still making the bulk of the money because if it's commission based, you're not going to get the overload. I'm going to get the overload because I have the overhead of the building. And if it's hourly, every esthetician also knows that just I'm paying you $20 an hour when you could have made $120 in 45 minutes doing it yourself without me. But I also think that stems back to, you know, understanding overhead. A lot of estheticians don't understand I have to pay you that way because I'm doing the marketing. I'm paying for the website every month. I'm paying the rent. I'm paying the light bill. I'm paying the licensing on everything. So with that, my bills are a little bit more than what you think they are. Now, and everything that goes into this business.
What made you teach these students to where when they leave your school, they're like experts or they ready to just go into a med spa and work these machines and do all that? Because a lot of these aesthetic schools, when these students graduate, the only thing they can do is a little facial or whatever.
And so that is why my school is solely focused on aesthetics. I make sure that I am literally putting together a graduation right now where when every one of my students graduate in August, they're going to have a job. like I'm presenting them, I'm gifting them with a job that I've gotten. You don't have to take it, but you're qualified to work here because I've watched and trained you. And I'm not an instructor at my school. I do go in on training days. I do like kind of sit in with them sometimes when they're doing services. I think that's the key to my program is we're only solely focused on aesthetics to make sure that they're great estheticians. It's no other focus in the whole building but aesthetics.
Somebody that's going to open a aesthetic school, like we got some on here right now, what would you tell them?
Start looking into a demographic. Demographic is a huge thing where people will travel. And be realistic about, I think one thing that kind of was me and my business partner advantage was we were very realistic about a business plan. We wrote down marketing things that we knew we wanted to do, even though we couldn't afford it that day when we were doing it, but we wrote down, we want to have a billboard. We want to be on the radio. We'll be on the radio starting next week. We just started writing down stuff that we knew we wanted to do. So as we got more students, we were able to say, well, now we can do this. Now we can do this. But I think you have to be realistic about how you want your business to flow and, you know, how much money you want to make. Like, it's a lot of money in schools. That's why I said, if somebody would have told me 3 years ago that I could make the money I'm making now with having a school, I would have dropped everything I was doing. But I feel like also I needed to go through the test of working at a lot of schools. I needed to be in that instructor role a little longer to really experience this journey.
When I was on that live, like talking about schools and stuff, there was probably what, 3 or 4 years ago when you was on there. Can you hear me, Seven?
Yes, I can. I was reading the chats. I'm sorry.
What were you thinking when you was on that live?
Which one, with you?
Yeah.
Well, you also realize, I don't know if you know, I know Jasmine. I think you helped Jasmine. What's the name of her school? Cheers.
Spears.
I seen you twice. So I think I was on your live, and then I think I seen you and Jasmine talk. I just thought you was somebody that wanted to help everybody.
Oh, okay.
Just want to help everybody. I think also, I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I'm a digger. So I digged you. I went to your story. I don't know the white lady name that helped you, but like I know your story. Like, yeah, I read and I was like, oh, okay, this is somebody. Also, you were the most unique person that has done it. It's a lot of cap people online that have not. I know somebody right now, I ain't gonna say no names. They have a large following. People pay them monthly to be a part of their network. And what they're advertising, they've never had. I'm gonna use the word beauty shop. They advertise and let me help you get a beauty shop and never had a beauty shop. So I did a lot of digging. And you were about what you've opened it. You've done it. You've seen the money. You know it can be made. You know with financial aid that's the holy grail of never working again. Yeah.
Okay. So you were expecting doing some research.
Yeah, I research everything. I'm sorry.
All right. It's a lot of people asking you questions, Seven. Can you see these questions?
Let me see.
Unless you want me to read them to you.
Somebody said, and I said, but I know to continue to pursue that. Thank you. How do you get men to come in for waxing top and bottom? I think because I'm a man, I'm just more comfortable with doing it, and I'm approachable with telling guys that they need to do it. I don't know. And then if you comfortable with doing it, let them know. A lot of men are very they're very, my grandma calling, they're very traumatized by being told no. So they'll go to these places like Massage Envy, European Wax, and they'll tell them, no, we don't wax below your shoulders. So they just assume that every woman doesn't wax below the shoulders. So you have to advertise and let them know you do it. I would start with some models so I can have some content. So to chat with you, we can schedule a virtuous business talk. Yep, the link is in my Instagram bio, or I can send it to you. CBS Aesthetic School, we are just added eyelash and lights. What state are you in? What's what state is she in that edit the eyelash?
No, you can put what state you're in. And
Yeah, I don't know if you know, Milady now has a eyelash training course through their, I don't know if you're using SEMA, which is their online portion, but they have a class on there now that is very self-paced. It teaches them everything. All you have to do is schedule for a lash trainer to come in and do the actual hands-on part, but it teaches them everything from the history of lashes, the philosophy of lashes, what products to use. I do lash training and I still would use Milady because it's more right there in your face.
did you answer all these questions?
Yep, I answered all of them.
Okay, I'm gonna go to your Instagram. Can I go to your Instagram and you kind of walk us through that song?
Yep.
You want me to go to 7 Skin?
7skin_ATL.
Yeah. Okay, let me go there.
And people be asking me how I'm able to, I'm sorry, Amber, what's your question? I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Are you an RN? No, my business partner is a nurse practitioner. And we have a medical director on file.
Can you see this screen?
On staff, I said file, on staff, I'm sorry.
You see your Instagram?
I can see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna scroll and you just tell me where to stop, and can you kind of give them
Okay, so first starting off, I don't know if y'all can tell, my first 2 posts, I have them pinned to my page. I try to keep stuff pinned that is promoting right now. So it should be like a stroll over of pictures. That's a butt facial. That's a facial. But I have this pin for this. I'm running a summertime promotion where you pick 2 services and you just pay $150. That's to kind of get the estheticians in the school kind of some work. But I'm just showing different things that I do and that's covered in that promotion, and I have it pinned. And then the next picture that's on my page, I think that's advertising for the school, just letting people know that the school spa is open. So I have those 2 pinned. Yep, our spa is now open. There's that. And everything else is just kind of like me staying with the days. So today was Wednesday, so we do a lot of waxing on Wednesday. I don't really do the whole relaxing facial thing. A lot of my clients come to me for correcting stuff. So they want something off of their body or they want something lighter. They want something gone. I do the little, the lovey-dovey relaxing stuff, but I'm really trying to migrate those clients to my students. Because if you click on that right there.
which one? This?
The one of my student doing a facial with that right next to the little
Oh, here.
right here. They do more of the relaxing, soothe your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And those are my students. You can always tell based on this color that we have on. So I try to advertise not only, the spa, but advertise them. Of course, that's me with no scrubs on at all. Also, that's how I knew I was tired of doing services. I'm tired of wearing scrubs. I want to wear my regular clothes. That's a classroom day of me showing them more hands-on. They like when I do the trainings for some reason, which I don't mind, but I have guest trainers that come, so I try to let them get their shine as well. If you go down, if you go down right next to that butt on the left-hand side, that's the last training that I did for skin games. I had people sitting on how people be like, it's only floor room. It wasn't even like floor room. People were sitting on the floor, standing up. I told them for me to come back, y'all have to give me a bigger classroom. Because people were sitting on the floor, they couldn't see, but it was a really good class. I really stopped doing group classes because everybody in the class don't get what they need. If you go down to that, next to that blue, that's a chemical peel. So it looks burnt, it'll look crazy, but it'll all fall off and then you'll have brand new skin. I think I put her after picture. There you go. See how perfect that looks? It was worth looking crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I look crazy for that type of skin right now. But yeah, so I try to just do different things on my page from everything that we do, from the post-op massages, even that. We just started doing M-Sculpt. So I don't know if y'all heard about M-Sculpt. 30 minutes of M-Sculpt give you abs like you've been working out for 2 hours. So it's the lazy way to get abs. The only thing is it's kind of dangerous. Y'all know how y'all see a guy that got like a little stomach and then they can like tuck it in and look like abs? That's what they're using. Somebody said, what's your student tuition? It's $6,000 for aesthetics license, $5,000 for instructor. And it comes with everything you need. That's tuition, books, kit, uniform, everything. I don't even know what that is. Oh, it was his back. So yeah, I just put what the people like to see on there, keep it kind of trendy, and then that's it.
Yes. Well, I think they asked all the questions.
Yeah, I answered all the questions.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Seven, and sharing this information, because we got a lot of people that's in the aesthetics and they want to get into it. So they're gonna see this on the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and anything
Yeah,
else?
send me the link. Send me the link so I can most definitely share it. I know a lot of people that would probably want to, hear that information. I've been busy since we pulling up on over a year, and we're just getting started with like our accreditation stuff. My head has been in paper like this. I have not been able to like talk to people. It's people that I know trying to open up schools, asking me questions. So definitely send me the link. Maybe this can help them out.
All right, I will. Let me see. So make sure y'all follow. Let me share his Instagram, Seven's Instagram again. Going up here, make sure y'all follow him on Instagram. If y'all know somebody in Atlanta that wants to become an esthetician or want to get their skin vibrant and right,
Even if they're not in Atlanta, we have a hybrid program. Georgia has the highest esthetician hours you can get. We have a program where after you graduate that you can take for 2 weeks, where you can be licensed in any state. You can be licensed to do facials overseas. You can do facials on cruise ships. So you don't have to be in Georgia. We have a hybrid program. We have different options for you that you can get those hours. And we have internships in other cities where you can go get those practical hours, so we can make it happen.
Okay. So make sure y'all reach out. And I know a lot of y'all interested in accreditation and all that stuff, y'all can reach out. So we want to thank Seven for coming on here. Let's see. So I stopped this.